Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here, and welcome back to our review of Skull Island, the Netflix series. We are on episode 4 right now. And I am here with pretty much a lot of the people that have been in the last few episodes. We got GojiRex28, Godzilla Reader, Neos Gamer, and GojiFan2001. And yeah, just got finished watching episode 4. And yeah, pretty much overall, a quick recap. This episode I feel was a lot. It was, I wouldn't say filler-ish, but it definitely, there wasn't really a lot that like moved the plot along, but it did have a lot of character dynamics, especially with the trio that Charlie, Mike, and Annie got a lot of screen time just sort of bonding. So I think that this episode still has a purpose, but in terms of like the other party going on, the Cap and then the people that were still trying to figure out what their whole goal was, not a lot happened on their end. But we'll get to that in a second. So quickly, we'll go over our opinions on the episode. So just in a brief description, Goji Rex, let's have you start. What did you think of this episode, real quick?
Okay, I would say this episode was kind of dull a little bit, especially with uh with like some of the dialogue that the characters share between each other. Uh, Mike and Annie, they get like something that they can connect to, with like both their dads being dead and stuff. But with like Charlie, I'm just not connected to that character. That character's just I wouldn't even mind if he got killed. I'm like, good riddance. Who cares? But with Dog, he's the stereotypical uh, fun animal character that's either a jerk or is lovable.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then like with the other group, I don't know. Like between the well, did the lady character ever like say what her name was and the guy that she was with?
I don't
Not
think so.
not Cap, but the other guy.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever said their names yet. We still don't know anything about these characters. Like we don't know what
Well, go
they're
to the
like
credits. You were just past it.
starring.
Okay, so let's see.
Irene.
Irene.
Yeah, it's got to be her then, I guess. Irene.
And
Well, let's see. I think this episode was average. Oh, and like not in a bad way, but I don't know. I felt it was okay for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
That episode was definitely more like character dynamic. I think for the most part, yeah, both groups were in terms of their interaction, they were okay.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think I do have to agree that Charlie, he's starting to get he's starting to get a bit annoying, but yeah.
I didn't say he was annoying. I'm just saying I just didn't really care for him.
Right. Well, I mean,
Well,
Godzilla Reader might think he's getting annoying, so.
Honestly, I'd say this episode was all right for the most part. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't exactly the greatest thing either. Pretty much was kind of like what you said. Sort of like it was a bit of filler, but also was building up the characters a little bit, the character dynamics and everything, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean,
Right.
Of course, we always need that for some stuff. And I like the fact they do that, but I think with how they gone about it in this episode, it kind of made things feel just a little bit slow. Like, not saying it needs to be like breakneck speed or anything, but
Yeah.
it feels a little slow. And as for Charlie, yeah, this was the episode where I actually started to really dislike his character, and it only got worse for me as time went on.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Yeah.
I think that. I think if this is the only episode that sort of slows things down, I think that's okay because we're like at the halfway point now. So I think the last 4 episodes need to start giving us like the climax. You start to like really answer some questions and start building up some stuff. So yeah, but and GojiFan2001, what's your quick thoughts?
I would say this. It's a both a dull and middle road episode because it just has so much character development, but it's not really all that bad to be honest.
Okay. All right. Okay, and let's see here. So yeah, we'll go through the episode here. So yeah, we start off. Basically, we're back to where Annie and well, they're all just trying to get food. So basically the whole first part is them just getting their breakfast, and so Annie and Dog just like basically run off. These two are arguing about her continuing to run off and whatever. And all of a sudden, this dodo bird shows up out of nowhere. Kind of funny. And then just gets dogpiled by, well, Dog right there. And that's what gets their breakfast. So that's like literally just the intro scene. But then we did get, this is like the start of the character talking or the character dynamics development. We do find out that, I guess, both of them, Annie and Dog, I guess their dads fought each other, ended up killing each other or something like that, or she ended up killing his dad, and then Dog ended up killing her dad. So that's kind of an interesting like relationship between her and the monster. That's kind of cool. So that's really it. And then Mike gets a little bit more of a connection with her, obviously, because they both have dead dads. So I guess that's like some kind of connection they have. So yeah, that's really it. We get to the intro, and then they just keep on walking, and then they end up. Charlie falls into this ant like home, whatever. It was weird though, because I didn't think that these things were like ants. They didn't really seem like ants to me, but I guess they are considered ants on Skull Island. So. So really, this whole part, this whole thing is literally just an excuse to have all these characters just have a dynamic with each other. Nothing in this part actually moved the plot along. I mean, we even had like, I don't know, I'll come back to the bird people later, but like because it goes back and forth. But like, even Charlie finds this sword, which I thought might play a little bit more into, something, but it ended up just being a throwaway joke where like he ends up like trying to stab the ant and then it just breaks and he's like, oh, okay. So that didn't really go anywhere. But something that was really interesting is that Kong does show up in this episode, but only like very briefly. I think he comes in, he pulls up a tree, and I think he like helped Annie get down into the pit. I think is that what we think happened?
I think so.
No, I guess she should have jumped down there.
Because Kong showed up, grabbed a tree, and then that was it. So I literally thought that was him helping. I don't know. So I don't know what Kong's purpose was in this episode. He just literally popped up out of nowhere, and that was it. So
yeah, I didn't get either.
Yeah, so she popped down. Again, more funny dynamics with the characters. I mean, again, I love how these characters play off each other. And Charlie, I know that a lot of us aren't really into him right now, but I think he is sort of funny. I think it's because I'm not looking at this as a Monsterverse movie. It's because it is a cartoon, so I'm like a little bit more lenient with it when it comes to trying to be a little bit more like fun with itself. I mean, of course, you can have a serious, dark like cartoon, but I feel like they're also trying to like appeal to kids maybe in a way. So the dialogue is a little bit more like cheesy. It's although it's not King of the Monsters cringe. I will say that. The dialogue so far has not been that bad. There's been a couple groaners, but not as much as King of the Monsters. So at least they're not going overboard with it. But I do like the way all these characters talk to each other. I think it's a great dynamic. And then she basically, Dog ends up coming to save the day, and then they get out. So we'll get back to, so I mean, really with this team, the bird people, not a lot happened. They're just still formulating how they're going to take out the falcon creature, and that's like really it. But what did happen back here was they went into this field of these really cool looking flowers, and I knew something was going on with this because I was like, man, they're focusing way too much on these things. And then we did one of those things that we did in one of the last episodes where like we noticed, hey, one of them's not shaded like the others. Something's gonna happen. So, and it threw me off guard because, obviously she's kind of a main character. What was her name again? Leah, something like that. I already forgot her name. I already forgot her name.
Bad lady. Let's just call her bad lady.
Yeah. Anyways, the lady that's in charge, she gets eaten by this thing, and there was a split second I was like, well, shit. Did they just kill her off? But no, she has plot armor, so they ended up saving her, taking her out of the plant, and I mean that's literally it. And then they're just talking more more talking, more character development here. I mean, that's really it. And she has Annie has a vendetta, I'm assuming, against the leader, the girl who's in charge of the scout team or whatever. Because obviously they're trying to kill each other, so it's like there's a conflict there. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then like one of the last things, all of a sudden the scout team gets like attacked by these like vine snakes, which that's awesome. That's a cool like creature concept, like snakes that are like vine like and attack them. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, it cuts there. So that was basically episode 4. So yeah, again, I would say it was a I wouldn't say complete filler, because it helps. I think since it's the halfway point of the series, and we just get a lot of that character development going, and then now I think that we're at the point where it's like, okay, now the plot needs to really start moving. Like, we know the characters now, we're getting a little bit of their backstory. We still don't know what the organization people are about. Like, we don't know why they're here, because they even said it. Cap was even talking to the lady, if I can get a screenshot of them over here, but she was talking to Cap about, or no, Cap was questioning her, being like, okay, so you're not here because of the Hollow Earth. Oh yeah, because the Hollow Earth was mentioned in this episode as well. They're like, okay, you're not here, like, you know about the Hollow Earth, but you're not here to research it. And then about, what was the other thing that he said? Like, about something else.
I think the island. I think it was the island.
The island itself, like, yeah, you know about the island itself, but you're not here for that. You're here to chase down this teenage girl, and that was it. And she's like, yeah, because the teenage girl has like killed our men. So again, there's something going on, which eventually, hopefully, we'll find out. But in terms of the episode overall, I thought, in terms of characters, it was great. But yeah, in terms of plot, not a lot happened. It was just kind of fillerish a little bit, but had a place as that. So yeah, but just a quick little recap for you guys. So GojiRex28 overall, like, little like rating, like, what did you rate this episode?
It was dull. I would
Dull.
say that
Yeah.
one of the few good things about it was the interactions between Mike and Annie. Charlie can go screw off or do whatever he wants. I don't care for him.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah. But I do now have a little theory of possibly where Annie and Dog are actually from.
Okay.
She might be from another island that is just like Skull Island. The Hollow Earth come to the surface.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a good theory. I mean, because yeah, we know that she is from another island, and I don't know if Dog is from another island or if Dog is from Skull Island. Did she say anything about that? Like, if Dog is in a different...
No, I think she said that her and Dog were on a separate island, and
Okay.
because remember, she said, "Wow, that is a big monkey," in like the 3rd episode. So that's an indication that she never saw Kong.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
As her flight, that was like her first time seeing him.
Right.
So this is basically an indication that her and Dog were from another island.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. I hope we find out soon about really what's going on behind the scenes here.
Well, again, I feel like this episode to me was pretty average. Average. Again, yeah, the character interactions, it was pretty good. Okay, maybe I exaggerated when I said that Charlie was annoying. It's just that I think it's just that the dialogue around him, just, I don't know, it doesn't really help him.
Right.
But he still have some good interactions, and I don't hate him that much. I think he's average as well.
There's just not a lot for him to do right now.
Yeah, I will say that there not a lot has happened. Actually, not a lot of bad things has happened. Like, he still has his dad. Although I will say that the cool thing is obviously the connection with the other like official media, such as the Old Earth, and also the inclusion of some like older creatures that were like mentioned, such as the giant ants. And but if I have to rate this, I guess a 5 out of 10. Not bad, but could have been better.
I think I probably would give this episode a 5 out of 10. Like, it's alright, but it could be a bit better than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really gave ratings to the previous ones, but I think they probably would be a little higher than.
I usually don't rate things from out of 10 like ratings, but if I would have graded it, I would probably give it the same. It's 5 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah, so that'll do episode 4 for us. So we will see you guys when we do episode 5. And yeah, we're halfway through the series, so I'm excited to see how the rest of the second half will do. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay big, G fans.